Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I think I got everything I need. All right. So let me see who's here first. Lorna Williams. Thank you so much. Hello, Susie Q, Karen M, Joyce Anderson, Phyllis Johnson, Nubian Queen. Oh, what an honor. Nubian Queen is here. And let's see, Delta Sci-Fi, Delta Phi. Yeah, well, I know I'm saying it wrong, but thank you so much. Diana Ortiz, Lydia Washington. Let me see who else is here. Oh, Annie Bullard wants to say hi to a few people. We can always help out with that. Marcelina Martinez. Oh, I love that name, Marcelina. That is beautiful. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right. Oh, Black Queen is here. Black Queen is here. Hey, Black Queen. There we go. Black Queen is here. Very cool. Who else? Judy Mutasid. Thank you so much for being here. And Lola Love, Joan Garcia, Denise Jones, Patty Askew. Okay. Blue Draws is here. Caroline. Peach Rose. I'm so proud of myself that I can say Blue Draws without laughing. Right? Blue Draws. Okay. Amber Rowan is here. Very cool. All right. Oh, you know what? Let me get my slides up here. While I'm doing all of this greeting. Was I ready? Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that was it. Let me stop fussing over the small details. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Please make sure that you hit the like button. Also, if you're not subscribed, please take the time to subscribe. We've just reached another milestone. Well, practically. Let me see. Where are we right now? Just for fun, let me check it out and see where are we in terms of the numbers. Oh, 53,936. So probably by tomorrow, because I know everyone who has not subscribed will probably be at about, I don't know, 54,100, right? We can make that happen. Okay. Let me close out some of these screens. I got way too much open right now. Way too much open. Oh, okay. I definitely need this one. Move that over there. You guys, I'm like a bit shy to share my workstation with you, but it is so cool. I got monitor. One of the Swatties realized my predicament and decided to make a very generous contribution to Royal Sussex. And, well, I don't want to say the name, but this has been very, very helpful. These old baby boomer eyes of mine, I got all kind of real estate to move stuff around. So yeah, very cool. It's like one of those, like you see some of the content creators where they, got all that stuff going. Now I'm one of those people. I can't believe it. But yeah, I am very happy about this. So thank you all for your contributions because My most recent thing was the new Shure microphone. It's just like the one that Tisha Tell has and a few other content creators. But I was listening to the sound quality. I'm just like, this is really, really bad. So now I got this. It doesn't have that hollow sound like it was before. So I am glad for that. So now it makes me feel better. And if I feel better, I can work better. So thank you all again for supporting Royal Sussex. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. I practice. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. Oh, got a new member. Oh, that is so cool. Thank you so much for that. Let me highlight. Let me highlight. Aha, there we go. Inez Lozada, thank you so much for becoming a new member to Royal Sussex. And thus, the channel continues. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for helping to make sure I can do what I am doing. Okay. I still hope you guys are feeling the same way when I get through saying what I have to say. Now, I don't want to sound like somebody's daddy, but you can see right here it says, keep Harry's name out of your mouth. Keep Harry's name out of your mouth. I don't mean you guys, of course, but the Sun, the Telegraph, the Daily Fail, the Times, is it the Times of London? Whatever it is, they have been doing the most, and they have been very, very messy. But that is not what I wanted to talk about directly. That's more of an abstract thing. Um, Directly, oh, okay, sorry, just getting comfortable. More direct, more to the point, or cut to the chase. We have the ability to amplify stories that has become pretty big. As a matter of fact, the tabloids depends upon the Sussex squad's anger to multiply their engagement, to bring clicks to the story, right? And so, and mind you, I didn't just come to this all by myself. I was actually listening to Spaces earlier, and I don't always, comment. It's rare that I actually comment because sometimes it's necessary to listen, right? Because everybody can talk, but sometimes you need to listen. And so they were saying that, okay, I'll give you a good example. Have you noticed that I don't talk about Scamantha that much? And it's like everything Samantha does, I'm not going to amplify it because that's what she's been thirsting for, is to remain relevant, right? And she's not in such a direct position to cause problems for the Sussexes. About the worst that she's been able to do was to bring that frivolous lawsuit that had absolutely no merit. It was dismissed with prejudice, and so that's the end of that. But there are many occasions where I've chosen not to talk about her, and not just Samantha, but a few other people, because the amount of anguish or stress or the drag that it has on me is more than I could take. And I feel like if it's bothering me, it might bother you, even if you don't know that these things are overwhelming you. I just, I use my best judgment. I don't like to just talk about stuff for shock value. I don't want to do that thing where, I really hate those thumbnails where the person is holding their face like Home Alone and making all of those weird expressions to try to draw you in. I actually skip past those thumbnails. I'm like, oh no, I'm sure this is not even worth it. Um, but there's enough things enough weight we have to carry without all of that madness. So a lot of it, and I do mean a lot of the things in the fail, I I may use the headlines for a talking point, but I don't always read the articles. I would say probably maybe 10% of the time because it's an ongoing dialogue. I already know what they're trying to get to before I even look at it. So I know it's full of bias. I avoid it. A lot of times I just want the picture and I use the graphic to get what I need out of it. But the story is usually the same thing. And sometimes I don't even do the screenshot. I just get them from other people. I get them from other people. And if I need to know something about it, I will try to go to a reliable or a more reliable news source for the story because I already know how much the Sussexes, well, I already know what they say the Sussexes paid for their home. So with the Daily Mail, you get the price of their home, how many bathrooms, something humiliating or disparaging about the Sussexes, and just a little bit of the story, usually loaded with bias. And I don't want to give them the clickbait. So I try to avoid it. Let's see. Clarita Forbes, new. Oh, you're a member of 21 months. Thank you. Hello, Baron and Squatties. It's nice to catch you live for a change. Well, very cool. I hope it's a good live for you. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what I am referring to. I almost didn't talk about it, but when I found out that, that there were a few photos of William at this gathering, which of course isn't big nothing. It was just after the 10th anniversary of Diana's death, I guess it was, a celebration of her life. And so, as you may have heard, the tabloids have tried to make it all about Harry and trying to lump him into things that almost sound something like his uncle, the Duke of York. And when I saw that, I'm just like, I'm not touching it. But then I found out that there was some somewhat embarrassing photos of him doing the old soul handshake and looking longingly into the eyes of that person that I shall not name. And I'm just like, okay, I'll take that. I'll have that. I'll have that. Yeah, it pairs very well with red wine. I'll have that. So I decided to go ahead and take that and use it. But I just deliberately do not want to amplify the headlines that will be embarrassing for Harry or hurtful to Harry. Oh, and Meghan, of course. I don't want to do that. I don't want to say, "Oh, look at what they," just for the see what they said. Yes, I saw what they said, but unless I got like a lot to push back with, I'd rather not bother. I'd rather not bother because when we share those things, especially on social media, like just right now, I was listening to someone saying that Nigel Farage tried to share something about Kitty, and it didn't go very far. But when he shared something about the Sussexes, or I think it was maybe just Harry, then there was some 40,000 likes, right? And that's the other thing you have to look for. When you see those stories, if it hasn't been shared that much, or if it doesn't have that many likes, if you take that and you share that link, you may amplify that without even trying. You may be the one to amplify that because you're angry or you're outraged or whatever. Even the screenshot, you are going to have other people amplify what you just shared. And I don't think that that's what you want to do. So if you go and look at my timeline on the Twitter, you'll find out that there's a whole bunch of stuff that I share, but very little of it is, did you see what they said? I don't want to do that. I don't want to take what they've, what they've done and then push it on down the line. And I don't get into a lot of back and forths on the Twitter. That's one reason why I can survive on there, is because I don't get into those arguments. I don't want to get my account shut down or whatever. So I avoid that. I don't want to be angry on Twitter. I don't want to get into the shouting matches and such. So I just avoid that. And now Twitter and a lot of these other platforms, when you say something to anger or outrage people, especially on Twitter, they're getting paid for that now. Uh, and I believe that blue check marks, anybody who has a blue check mark, you're getting paid for engagement. So when you're mad and you start, going after them, that's engagement, and they're getting paid for it. And so you could just sit there and, say whatever, and next thing you know, your timeline is full of stuff, and they're not going to block you because they want to keep you coming back. They want to keep that engagement going. And the best way to do that is to keep people angry. So, I don't think anybody does it on purpose. And also, as I said the other day, if some of these things are so outrageously bad and you have not seen that anyplace else, you have a choice at that point. Walk away from it or amplify it. Because if you share it with people, you're amplifying it. And if that person gets upset and they start sharing it, and what happens is it's driving the algorithm, is sending that data, and that data rewards the person who posted it in the first place. So that's what we want to avoid doing. Clarita Forbes, thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. And also thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate it. So anyway, that was just about all I had to say about that, is just try to avoid amplifying things, because you can take something very small and turn it into something much bigger unnecessarily. That they have put the story out there, you being mad and saying, oh, and Harry said that. When you say, oh, did you see what this person said? You are helping to make it that much bigger. You are giving it the old snowball effect. You're just rolling that snowball until it becomes a huge ball, and then you can start stack them and make a snowman. So, anyway, I hope all of that makes sense. I explained it the best way I could, but your sharing of these things on your timeline will definitely amplify them. Um, and I want to tell you, one of the biggest kicks I get from doing this, like one of the people in the Twitter, they actually confronted me when William was in New York. Why are you engaging? Well, as soon as I heard that William was going to New York, I had already decided I am going to do everything I can to shout him down and embarrass him by sharing, like, the fact that Harry already went to that firehouse, right? Because I wanted to make sure that it was understood that he was walking in his little brother's footsteps. Him running in Central Park and he didn't. Yeah, I'm going to share that. I'm going to share that. But I will do it without sharing the link that said that he was seen running in Central Park. That kind of stuff, I'm going to do that all day long, because I want the people that have been targeting our faves to feel just as ridiculous and humiliated and less than as possible. Yes, I want to do that for them. I want to give them the headache that they were trying to give me or to give you. That much I'm going to do every time. So when it comes to that, for sure, I'm gonna be me. Jules C says, Baron, the reason the son can do this is because that person, yeah, well, I know that. I know that. And it's not illegal. But if 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 for whatever reason Harry decided to push back, that will do what? Amplify it. That would amplify it. So we already is the deed is done. The deed is done, and it cannot be undone. And me sharing it is not going to undo it. So I don't intend to put it on any timelines I have, because now this picture, I'll put this picture up and just not say anything. But the whys and the what fors and everything is not as important as avoiding amplifying it. That is the worst that we can do. So at the end of the day, we're all adults. Let your conscience be your guide. I'm not your parent. I'm just giving you the facts. And that the fact is that if we dwell on those things, then we will amplify it for them. We will do their work for them. So yeah, I think all of us comfortably know why they were able to do that. But we don't need to keep explaining it to each other over and over again, right? Let's avoid doing that if you want to. But you know what? In your space, your page, your platform, do you, boo? I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. But as it was shared with me today, I'm sharing it with you. And I'm not too old to learn from other people, whether they're younger or older. I'm not too old to learn. But I will say that it was pretty much something I practiced already, is that if it doesn't feel right, if it looks too embarrassing or something like that for the Sussexes, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't want to have anything to do with it. So you all decide what you want to do, or don't decide. But just remember, your every time you share something, it multiplies. It's like fractal geography, or no, it's fractal geometry, where everything keeps expanding, just like a tree grows, one leaf at a time. So, okay, so I'm done with that. But I'm not done with this though. Let's get it on. Willie, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Diddy, let's get it on. uh, well, let the pictures speak for themselves. And let me just say this: our fave at this point had walked away and went over to talk to other people and left his brother there. There's actually a video, left his brother there. That's the video that they don't share. He was cropped out of the photos. Willie was cropped out of the photos. Funny you should say that. Funny you should say that, Joy Amore, because that's just where I was headed to. And so my imagination is running wild because I happen to know that William was very proud of the fact that he once slept rough with a black man. See right there? My friend Prince William is no racist. Prince William reminds us that he once slept rough with a black man, and that should prove he's not a racist. Seyu Obakin has known Prince William for more than 10 years and once slept rough with him. He speaks about their enduring friendship. My, my. My. Me oh my. Very interesting. Okay. Or as Mr. Spock would say on Star Trek, fascinating. Let's see here. Cat Harlem says, a member for 19 months. Cat Harlem says, hello, Baron and Squatties. Hello, Cat Harlem. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member. Greatly appreciate it. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get on with it. Oh, I still got this one here. If you all remember, there was that song, Once You Go Black, You Never Go Back. I wonder if the Future King was an inspiration for that song, which I love so much. If you all have not heard that song, it is a hoot. It is a hoot. Hey, Harry, once you go black, you never go back. But I wonder if it was really about Willie. I mean, that rhymes, doesn't it? Really about Willie? So it must be. It must be right. Okay. And this is something I've found. Now, this person, Carrie Danes, I don't know her. I'd never heard of her before, but she sounds interesting. Carrie Danes, not just a TV psychologist. As a matter of fact, it says here forensic psychologist, best selling author, Dark Side of the Mind, What Lies Buried, talk about psychology on TV, and the profiler discovery, what is that? Something global speaker. Anyway, she lives in Manchester. She lives in Manchester. And anyway, she was approached. It says right here, I've been asked by various media to contribute to articles accusing Meghan of manipulation, coercive behavior, coercive control, exploiting Harry's mental health struggles, etc. I say no to this horse crap. Shame on others. Shame others don't. Uh, P.S. Beware of any purporting to be a celebrity psychologist. Well, I like her already. And then here later on the thread, she responded, I am used to being asked some loaded questions by media. I'm actually more irritated at those who play along with the trope. Perhaps a more qualified psychologist would point out the conscious, unconscious, misogynist, xenophobic, and racist values underlying this bullying. I like her. She gets a bell for that. Joan Garcia says Baron William talks more trash than athletes do. Yeah, yeah, he talks more trash. He really does. But a lot of times he does it through his office. Like, how about his father's coronation day? And before uh, Camilla could get out of her girdle, before Charles could get out of his girdle, before the horse keeper comes over to help get those coronation shoes off, um, they've already had to endure one of those press releases from William's office saying, when I become king, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. Well, who asked you? It's your father's coronation. Why are you, chomping at the bits to tell us what you would and would not do? Just like when he fell on his face in the Caribbean, he started talking smack about what he would and what you're only as good as your last performance, and he has not performed very well. So I would say that at the end of the day, he has been a complete utter failure. Um, and of course, being Prince of Wales is a lot of sitting around doing nothing. It's sitting around waiting for your parent to die, and he can't even do that right. I mean, it's a fine time, or it's a really sad day, should I say, when the person who is being paid to sit around and do nothing is not even successful at that. Thank you, Joan Garcia. All right. Okay, very good. Let me see. There's 1,603 people. How many likes do we have? Oh, wait a minute. Where's my other screen? I need to put another screen up, don't I? Hey, Harry, once you go black, you never go back. That was a funny song. I wish I could play it for you, but copyright. Once you go black, you never go back. I like when she references the Queen. The Queen didn't know what to do, and they told her she should try to go black too. I don't remember the exact words, but oh man, it was funny though. It was cute. It was very cute. Okay. Once you go black, you never go back. All right. I'm getting me another screen open here so I can see everything that you all are seeing. Okay. And going to close a couple of screens. Got too much open. And we're good. Thank you so much for your patience. Michelle Breathwaite, thank you so much for being here and being a member of Royal Sussex. Do you all know that there are members that have 31 months membership? 31 months membership. I could not believe it. 31 months membership? And I'm just like, when did that happen? When did that happen? 31 months. And May will be the 3rd anniversary of Royal Sussex. Now, full disclosure, I actually created the channel in 2020, but I didn't actually do anything with the channel until 2021. And it didn't take long before I was monetized and actually had 1,000 subscribers. And I think at that time you had to get 1,000 subscribers first to get monetized. And I tell you, the support came flooding in. I was like, what in the world did I start here? But it's been onward and upward ever since. So thank you all very much. Now, so here you go. This is an article. The one thing that they were hoping to achieve with Kate's confessional is that there would be a great deal of sympathy and consideration for that family. And just the opposite happened. More and more people are calling into question whether the family, or should I say, whether the palaces or the households, whatever the case is, whether they're courtiers, their comm teams, their communication chiefs are actually serving them well. People are hesitant to put the blame on them directly. Although when it came to William letting his wife take the heat for that Franken photo, that people were very sure that William was an absolute, you know what. So the article says, I was in London last week when a febrile madness of Where is Kate was blowing up social media, and the curious mystery of the doctored Mother's Day photo consumed every news outlet and dinner table conversation. After the Associated Press issued a kill notification on the botched Photoshop image of a suspiciously glossy Princess of Wales surrounded by her beaming progeny, there was a typical outburst of tabloid pomposity questioning whether Kensington Palace could ever be considered a trusted source of news. Well, in my own opinion, no. No, they cannot be trusted. And that's the thing. Even though, even though they have managed to win over a lot of sympathy, especially on that side of the ocean. On the American side of things, and perhaps the Canadian side of things, not so much. People are just asking more questions. And to me, it's like they were trying to put out a fire with more fire. Now, that can work if you can establish a line of defense. You know how they do that? They'll like gouge out a little trail of nothing but soil as a barrier to the fire. And then they'll set the other side of it on fire just so that it all stays contained, right? Well, I would imagine that that's what they were trying to do here was create some kind of firewall, but it has been an abysmal failure. So that did not work out the way they expected. As a matter of fact, I was surprised to see that there were still more people, and not necessarily the TikTokers. There were like some established channels on YouTube that were just like, "What is going on here?" And even questioning the the cancer confessional video. It looks like AI. It looks like AI. I'm not saying it is AI. It looks like AI, which means that they have failed yet again. If it looks like AI, then that was a failure. Plain and simple. You have lost your purpose at that point. You have lost your purpose. If you answer something as horrible as these failures with another failure, you have grainy photos, you have photos that look like body doubles, and the one that really insults me is the turning of the head to a brick wall. And when they supposedly showed us exactly what that area looks like, if you were to see it from the street view on Google or whatever, Google Earth or whatever it is, MapQuest, if you look at the street view, one would still ask the question, what was she looking at? There's a plain brick wall. You can't even see over the brick wall. So, timed so that as soon as they hold up the camera, and they only took one photo, which is also strange. They see this motorcade coming and they hold up their camera, and she just so happens to face a brick wall. That to me was so suspect. And of course, there is the idea that there was absolutely no one sitting there in the first place. It seemed as though that image was computer generated, that it was AI or something seemed wrong with it. Now, I don't want to go through all of the facts again because that would be a bit tedious, but I'm going to say this. The palace has not come out to say that Kate was at the supermarket. The palace was glad to say that she turned her head in the back of the car. I wonder why. The palace would not sign on to Kate and her mother with the five-wheel car. That one they would not touch. And of course, they have yet to issue the original Franken photo, the one which that jigsaw puzzle evolved from. Okay. So those are the facts right there. With all four of these, or is it five with the confessional? With all of these, there is still something that they're holding back or they will not confess to. Does that mean there's something wrong with us? Or are they hiding something? Let me continue. Oh, by the way, this article, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but it ends with the fascination of the crown will always be the tension between a venerable institution and the human beings who are trapped inside it. Isn't it just too cruel to expect modern mortals to live and love and parent in such a blisteringly unforgivable media gaze? Mm, who writes this? That was actually pretty good. Catherine is battling more, much more than cancer. A tidal wave of premature responsibility is crashing in on her and William's direction, frozen, unready, and with Catherine now seriously unwell. The Prince and Princess of Wales await the awesome burden of the crown. Cut, print, edit. End of movie. Now that is ready to go into the cans and out to a theater near you. That was absolutely beautiful. I don't know who wrote this, but that was beautiful. Oh, it's a guest essay. Anyway, that was of course it's beautiful. That's the New York Times. That's the old gray lady. That is the old gray lady. It's like that dog, old Yeller. It's old Yeller. Anyway, so this was the last thing that has gone terribly wrong. Kate on a bench confessing about her cancer and the reason why she did not want to tell it because of the children. By the way, I just want to remind people we have not seen those children since Christmas Day. We have not seen those children since Christmas Day, which is interesting because, as we have noticed, whenever things get tough, one of the first things they do is roll out the children. Now, I'm not saying that I'm, interested in seeing the children any more than necessary. As a matter of fact, if we didn't see them again until college, I think that's a good idea. Leave them be. Leave them be. But they ain't going to do that. But I think that we really shouldn't see those kids until college. Maybe they can grow up with a sense of normality or something like that. Not too much to ask for. Lex says the British royal family are going for history. They hide the affair with Wallace Simpson while the U.S. press covered it. Look at how they act as if the UK press was upset about it when they knew nothing about it. There you go. Legs, I tell you, sometimes I don't know where you get it from, but that is awesome. That is a very awesome observation. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for the super sticker. So, it is true that during the time of the Wallace Simpson affair, the U.S. press was having fun with it, much like, we've had fun with Where is Kate? And yet the British were the British people, the everyday folks, the commoners and peasants, they were unaware of it because there was a media blackout on the story. Just like there's still an embargo on the Rose Hanbury alleged affair with Willie Leaks. They just won't talk about it. And so they're trying to shame Stephen Colbert about Where's Kate Middleton when the meat of his joke was more about who is Rose Hanbury. That's the part they leave out of it. And with their full chest, they leave that out of it. Thank you, Lex. So we have the Ministry of Propaganda, the BBC, the Ministry of Propaganda. Do you know, I just learned today that the origins of the BBC was Special Intelligence or MI6. Am I right about that? Am I right about that? I saw that, or I heard that rather, and I was like, really? How is that possible? The origins of the BBC, Special Intelligence? Well, apparently, let me see. The Secret War, wartime BBC was involved in a range of top secret activities, working closely with intelligence agencies and military. It says here, as well as making programs for the public, the wartime BBC was involved in a range of top secret activities, working with closely with intelligence agencies and military. Here, newly released archives lift the veil on the broadcaster's role in this clandestine world of signals, codes, and special operations. My, isn't that something? So they were in the thick of it. I never knew that until today. They really are a source of propaganda, in my opinion, one might say, allegedly. And so, right here, now they have gotten Byline Investigate in on it, which is, of course, something that gives me, how would the Queen put it, undiluted pleasure. The idea that the royal family sustainability in the current form can no longer be guaranteed is something that gives me undiluted pleasure. It is a 1992, a year which I shan't look back upon with undiluted pleasure. I still say that was the best speech that QE2 ever gave. Her 1992 horrible year speech. Horrible year speech. So, yeah. So, anyway, where was I at? What did I do with that? Oh, do I still have that here? Hold on a second. Uh, oh, yes. So that's it right there. That's it right there. Okay. Let me take this from the top. And the end of months of conspiracy theories were silenced by 2-minute video after a strict media embargo on Friday at 6 p.m. Kensington Palace released statement recorded personally by Catherine, Princess of Wales. In it, she revealed the blah, 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 blah. Let me get to the meat of it here. We all know what she said. We all know that we were shocked by it. I know I was. And of course, as much as it pains me to say it, and it does pain me to say it, it still leaves so many questions. So they sum up the article by saying this: the monarchy is a barer institution than a few years ago, and a weaker one. While the king and queen are liked and respected, they do not attract either the deference of the late Queen Elizabeth II or the rock star appeal of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Thank you, Byline, for that. Only William and Kate come close to embodying both the stability and glamour that institution needs. And Kate, above all, she is the most popular member of the family and so indispensable that the modern monarchy can scarcely be imagined without her. Woof! Isn't that something? That in turn reflects on the vulnerability of the institution. It can only ever be as strong as this cast. It cannot constitutionally just disappear, but it can fade into irrelevance or embarrassment. Its sustainability and current form can no longer be guaranteed. Now that's heavy. That's heavy. Um, but yeah, the day that this institution, 1,000 years of history, as they love to point out, 1,000 years of history for nearly 1,000 years. So 1,000 years of history, and it all boils down to none other than Kitty. Isn't that something? 1,000 years only interrupted by that civil war for what was that, 11 years, 14 years. And then they reinstated the monarchy. But all of that history, and it boils down to Kitty. Kitty is the modern day Joan of Arc. She is going to save the monarchy. Black Queen, I'm being serious now. It's up to you, Mrs. Middleton. The royal family has got to be here to stay. Hey, hey, hey. So it's up to you, Mrs. Middleton. Um, if somebody would have told me years ago that the monarchy, its only hope was the person that was getting in and out of cars, flashing her assets at everybody on the street, or walking in these, what do you call them? Those walkabouts with a dress flying up over her head. If anybody would have told me that that person was the future of the monarchy, I'd be like, yeah, right, right. I mean, look at her. She ain't got enough sense to keep her uh, dress down, and somehow you think she's going to save the monarchy. Who knows? Maybe that was part of the appeal. They didn't call her Weighty Katie for nothing. Oh well, it's up to you, Mrs. Middleton. It's up to you to save the day. And I suppose that in a roundabout way, the idea of going back to flash in the crowd, maybe that's what helped create the appeal in the first place. The idea that anything could possibly go wrong at any moment. I thought it was terribly disrespectful to Queen Elizabeth II, but recollections may vary. Recollections may vary. Oh well, next. Now, Stephen Colbert, I'm going to play that little soundbite for the benefit of those who have not heard it yet. But Stephen Colbert, he he expressed his feelings about the, you know, I was sorry he did that, but I understand it. It was not exactly an apology. As a matter of fact, he didn't apologize at all. He pretty much said Stephen Colbert is going to do what Stephen Colbert is going to do. And that's the end of it. So, but I'll let you hear it for yourself. And if you guys hear an apology in there, let me know. I didn't hear it. I did not hear it. I wouldn't hold it against him if he did apologize, because it would mean that he's being more of a gentleman than William has ever been. But the truth is, I'm just about exhausted of the whole situation. But I am going to be here to set the record straight, just the same. I won't. You know me. I don't get tired. I don't get tired. So here we go. Here we go.
Stephen Colbert is expressing regret for
oh no, I didn't want that. See, I don't want all of that extra. Let me find one that does not have that. Let's try to do this another way, because I don't want to get the buffering that happens from time to time. But let me try it. Let me try it. Oh, I know what I need to do. Sorry about that. Thank you for your patience. I'm getting there. I am getting there.
On in his New York fraud case, or Attorney General Letitia James was going to grab him by the property.
Okay, almost there. Come on, Stephen, where are you? Okay, I don't have a choice. I'm going to have to deal with her. Gonna have to deal with her. That's okay. It's not a big deal. I hate that that announcer voice. Anyway, let me turn the volume down until we're past her.
Regret for jokes he made about Kate before she revealed her cancer.
Oh no, I can't do it. I don't want to hear her. I can't deal with her. I can't. I can't. I just can't. Do this another way. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, that's too easy. That is too easy. Should have done that in the first place. Yeah, that is too easy. It's so easy, I don't even see it. Okay, never mind. I'm over it. This ain't working out for me. Oh, I just don't want to hear her, though. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to avoid. Was this it? No, that's not it. Okay, here we go. And you guys are so sweet to wait, because I'm just I'm not doing so well. Nope. Nope. Okay, here we go.
Diagnosis.
There's a standard that I try to hold myself to, and that is I do not make light of somebody else's tragedy. Far too many of us know that any cancer diagnosis of any kind is harrowing for the patient and for their family.
This, of course, came as a huge shock.
Kate's revelation is the same age as.
You see what I mean? It's all of that extra. I didn't want that. I did not want all that extra. Anyway, you guys can find it yourselves. I didn't want all that extra in there. I just wanted Stephen Colbert. And they got all that extra. So, never mind. I'll come back to it. I'll find it later. But all that extra voiceover, I definitely did not want that. I'm so sorry. I thought I saved it, and I did not. So that was an oversight on my part. I thought I saved it. Oh, this is it. Okay, sorry, got it. Buffering, but I got it.
We do a lot of shows, and I tell a lot of jokes, and I tell jokes about a lot of different things, mostly what everybody's talking about. And for the last 6 weeks to 2 months, everybody has been talking about the mystery of Kate Middleton's disappearance from public life. And 2 weeks ago, we did some jokes about that mystery and all the attendant, like frou-fra in the reporting about that. And when I made those jokes, that upset some people. And even before her diagnosis was revealed. And I can understand that. I mean, a lot of my jokes have upset people in the past. And I'm sure some of my jokes will upset people in the future. But there's a standard that I try to hold myself to. And that is, I do not make light of somebody else's tragedy. Now, I don't know whether her prognosis is a tragic one. She's the future Queen of England, and I assume she's going to get best possible medical care. But regardless of what it is, I know, and I'm sure many of you, far too many of us know, that any cancer diagnosis of any kind is harrowing for the patient and for their family. And though I'm sure they don't need it from me, I and everyone here at The Late Show would like to extend our well wishes and heartfelt hope that her recovery is swift and thorough. Now, please say hello to Louis Cato and the Late Show Band.
Okay, that is why I felt very strongly about sharing that with you, because I wanted you to hear it without all the Stephen Colbert, just blah, blah. I didn't want you to hear it like that. I didn't want it spliced up with some announcers or voiceover. You needed to hear the emotion that he put into it. And if there was any digs or any slights or any shade, I wanted you to hear that too. But sometimes it's kind of hard to hear it if you have somebody voicing over, telling you what to think. And see, that's what that other thing was. They're telling you what to think and how to feel about it and what other people thought about it. All you need to hear is from the person who said it, and that was Stephen Colbert. He took the time, as you can see, there's a screenshot. He took the time to look directly into the camera and say what he said. And I felt it was very important that you heard it directly from Stephen Colbert. So there you go. That's what he had to say about it. Stephen Colbert is not a monarchist. He doesn't care for the monarchy, the royal family, and as a whole, he's not so into them. But Stephen Colbert just did what men are supposed to do. He was accountable for his actions. It was not an apology, at least I don't think it was, but he wanted to make sure that you heard it directly from him and that there was no ambiguities, no misunderstandings. I'm Stephen Colbert, and this is how I feel about it. And I'm going to leave it there. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. So I'm going to give him a bell for that. I thought that was incredible. That was some amazing. On his worst day, he's so much greater than some other people on their best day. And that's the truth. Whether it's another talk show host or just another human being, he has a certain humanity that I depend upon. And that's a great example of his humanity and also his honesty. And I'm glad to share it. I wish I could be more like him. So the monarchy is dead. Long live the memes. So I was working on this as a short video, which I did share a couple of days ago. And I was working on it before that confessional. And I decided to continue with it. So if the tone of the video seems a bit cruel because of what we learned later that day when I was working on it, basically, I shared with you the article with a few other things from the Rolling Stone, but basically the body of it was the article from Rolling Stones. And I don't think it was offensive in any way, but some people thought the tone was not proper considering the shock of hearing Princess Kate Middleton's Duchess Duchess of Cornwall, um, Queen in Waiting, et cetera, et cetera. Some people thought it was a little heavy-handed, and so I don't think they were actually people that normally watched Royal Sussex. I think it was just some royalists or monarchists that saw that title and was like, "What the hell?" And they decided they wanted to take a look. And what they found, they were not pleased, but again, it was based on the article and it said what it said. They don't want to hear the truth, though. They want to shut down any conversation, no matter what has happened since the confessional, no matter what we learned, people are not going to forget the lie. The same way, oh, and I heard someone say this earlier today. Now, listen to this. The same way that they were so determined after the Oprah Winfrey interview, remember those 17 lies that they told? Remember the 17 lies? And they said it so much that people that don't know anything about this stuff found themselves saying, well, they did tell 17 lies. There was 17 lies. Really? What lie was it? Well, it was 17 lies. Well, what did they lie about? Well, they made the queen very angry. Yeah, but what was the lie? Well, they didn't tell the queen, but they don't know what the 17 lies are, but they just know it's 17 lies, right? Well, here's the flip side of that, right? Here's the flip side of the coin, right? Two sides of the same coin. The other thing is that those very janky looking photos, the Franken photo, the farmer's market, the 5-wheel car, and even the head turned, all of those are really bad. And people see that as the palace lying. And people want to dig deeper and figure out what they're hiding. That is what people have taken from this, is that they lied and they're hiding something. And the reason why they're so upset with Stephen Colbert is because he wasn't talking so much about where's Kate Middleton. He just pointed out that Kate Middleton has been missing, and people are wondering if it has something to do with Rose Hanbury, the marching band of chicanery. That's what they were wondering. And so we already know that William was willing to sacrifice his brother and his sister-in-law to keep his secrets, right? So if they were willing to go through all of that by throwing Harry and Meghan to the wolves to project and maintain secrecy about this heavily embargoed story about William's alleged affair with Rose Hanbury, then of course those very same people would be willing to have some body double march out of the farmer's market, to have some body double ride in the car with her mother, to have some body double turn their head in the back of a Range Rover just as they see the camera aimed at them. And perhaps that very same type of approach was used to create what has been alleged to be an AI video. An AI video. Because out of all of the clothes, all of the outfits that Kate owns, she decided to go with a sweater that she wore 7 years ago. She decided to wear her hair the same way she wore it 7 years ago. And curiously enough, her left eyebrow seems to be stuck in the upright position, right? Her mouth is moving funny. Her eyes are blinking in some strange manner. And they say, oh, no, That's not AI. Nothing in the background is moving, but that's not AI. At the very least, this may be green screen technology. But whatever it is, they've done a great job of it. But still, it's not the best because otherwise we would not be having this conversation. And as I pointed out the other day, the lighting is horrible. They have this very like dusty, hazy, prairie like tone, almost sepia tone for this video, and it's unnecessary. As I pointed out the other day, they could have just as easily have brought up the hues of red and whatever else to make her look more lifelike. But instead, they deliberately chose to use this. What was the point of that? Unless you want people to ask more questions. And so people, I mean, look at this. Also, this is the other thing. Someone was offended because I said she's sitting there posed like Renaissance Jesus. That is not what Jesus looks like. We don't know what Jesus looks like. It's not offensive to say Renaissance Jesus. But someone wrote in the comments, how dare you? How dare you? She's posing like Renaissance Jesus. This image is a person that lived hundreds of years ago. Jesus Christ of back in the day probably looked more like me and less like this person. But according to Western imagery, Jesus has blonde hair and blue eyes. This one actually is closer to what he probably looks like, but still not great. But she's sitting there like Renaissance Jesus. And did you notice, I actually added some color. I gave her some color. Do you see how much more human she looks? That was deliberate. All of this is deliberate. And then, of course, I mentioned the Last Supper. They keep trying to put Kate, anytime they want to big someone up, they want to create the Last Supper backdrop. Do you see what I'm saying here? Notice the very similar symmetry, not the background, but the symmetry, where Kate is at the very center of the door, and even the panels of the door form something of a cross. There's Kate in front of the gilded door that seems to form a cross. I'm not making this up. You see it. That was done deliberately to make her seem like she is the center of the universe, the Alpha and the Omega. Everything that was and everything that ever will be. But I look at her and I see Kitty from the block. I don't see a Christ-like figure. I see Kitty from the block. I did not do this to her. They did that. I'm not the one that makes her look like she's part of some charade. They did that. But they keep blaming everyone else for their shortcomings. And then I hate to point this out, all of this is happening just in time for Easter. More symbolism. All of this is happening just in time for Easter. You couldn't make that up. So I'm wondering if on Easter, if she's going to walk into the church like Miss Jane Pittman Remember Miss Jane Pittman, a woman called Moses, Jane Pittman or whatever? Was that the name of it? No, Jane Pittman, right? Yeah, that was, what's her name? A woman called Moses. But yeah, they're going to have her walk into the church like Miss Jane Pittman. Remember at the end when she was walking to that water fountain? That's what they're going to have her do. They are going to have her walk into the church like Miss Jane Pittman. It took Miss Jane Pittman so long to get to that water fountain. I think they went to commercial and came back, and she was still on her way to the water fountain. You're welcome, Fresh Face. You're welcome. But I'm trying to be serious here. They're doing too much. They're doing too much. That's why I say I've just about had my fill of it. They're doing too much. Tell me what I got wrong about that. Please tell me. What am I missing here? And then of course yesterday, if there's not enough symbolism for you, I came up with a symbol of my own. I did. Yeah, I got my own symbol. I also feel as though they're trying to invoke the spirit. Wait for it. Wait a minute. I can't even find it now. Uh, oh, well, I probably shouldn't share that anyway. But oh, maybe that was the day before. I think it was the day before. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. I'm getting there. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I'm still seeing Rob Lowe in Behind the Candelabra. I am still seeing Rob Lowe in Behind the Candelabra. I mean, I cannot unsee it at this point. You know what I'm saying? I cannot unsee it. I'm still seeing Rob Lowe in Behind the Candelabra. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places. I'm waiting for Liberace to come out and sing, I'll be seeing you. You like my outfit? In all the old familiar places. Look me over. I'm about to take this off. So, but remember, guys, we're not supposed to talk about this. We're supposed to pretend like we don't see what we're seeing. Leg says the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman. That's the name of it. Thank you, Legs. The autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, starring Cicely Tyson. Yes. Do you remember Jane Pittman was sitting under that tree? You see that tree? That tree is older than me. I like my vanilla ice cream. I loves my vanilla ice cream. That's what all I remember from that movie is her talking about vanilla ice cream and walking to that water fountain and talking to the tree. Sometime I talk to that tree. That tree old as me. I loves my vanilla ice cream. I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I have not seen that since I was a kid. It was good though, right? That was really good. That was back in the day when they had Cicely Tyson play everybody. I'm still trying to understand Cicely Tyson, Coretta Scott King, but I'm gonna give her a free pass on that one because she's a legend. But I'm kind of like, Cicely, maybe not that one. Katie V says, Baron, with the we the Brits don't know how to do anything. China beat us on how to create a look-alike. We're perfect on what's that poke nosing in people's business? Poking a nose in people's business. Thank you, Katie B. You know, that whole thing with China. They have like there's a channel where there's a guy who's obviously European and he speaks fluent Mandarin, I guess, and he like it's kind of like RT News. It's like Russian television. Well, this is China's television where they try to give you a fairer view of China. And of course, the person who this guy that I'm talking about, he pointed out that for whatever reason, guess who they blame for all of this? He said, "That's right, China." And you know, we can criticize African countries, Asian countries, um, Middle Eastern countries. We can criticize everybody for damaging the environment. But then again, isn't that how the West built its economy? Was with the Industrial Revolution? Or we can criticize people for paying slave wages. Well, isn't that how the West built their economies? But they actually use real slaves. All of those criticisms that they throw at other countries and other regions and other people, you could say, okay, but this is how you got so rich. I mean, we're a new country. Let us figure it out. It's just like the United States. I mean, there was like this snobbery about the US. And, you know, for a country that's like what 200 and what 56 years old, whatever it is. I mean, yeah, we don't have 1,000 years of history. When you go to the UK, they love to tell you that this pub opened before the signing of the United States Constitution. This pub opened before the Revolutionary War. Yeah, it was, but so what? Before the US was a superpower, Britain was a superpower. Tomorrow, it may be China or India. I don't really care because it's not the end of the world, whoever has the most. But the thing is, it's a new normal. We all have to get used to a new normal at some point in our life. So, whatever that new normal is, I intend to survive and thrive. I'm not going to go crawl in a hole somewhere and hide out. So, yeah, this is so much prejudice and outright racism against China. But let's face it, they built that country up from the ashes in no time. I mean, they were attacked by the Japanese. They were occupied and occupied by Japan. They were occupied and colonized by the British. And China has never really gone out and taken anybody's land. That's what people forget is China never took anybody's land. I don't know that China has ever taken somebody's land. I'm trying to think when that happened. Of course, I know with Tibet and all that's happening now, but I'm saying in the past, they never had any of that stuff. But yeah, now Tibet and the way they have done the Uyghur people and all that, yeah, that is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. So I won't pretend otherwise. But again, that same argument, isn't that what they learned from the West? Isn't that what the West taught China? Just go out and take what you want. That's right. Go and take it. Okay, so that's my soapbox moment. I'm going to move on. I'm so sorry I'm not paying much attention to most of the comments because I'm sure they're pretty good. But anyway, thank you so much, Katie V, and thank you so much for being here and contributing to the conversation. Greatly appreciate that. You guys didn't know I was such a history nerd, did you? I love history and architecture and geography. All of those are my faves. But she was an actress, a character actress. She did the best she could. I mean, it's not even so much that. It's just that she was very different. That's all. I'm just going to say that she was very different. And there is a conversation that should be had about some of those things because if you're going to play a part, you should, you know, like for instance, I didn't really care. Now, listen, don't cuss me out. I love Angela Bassett, but I did not. She, was very muscular. She beefed up and became very muscular to play Tina Turner, and that was a little distracting for me. Now, it was a powerful performance, but appearance-wise, Tina Turner was kind of plump and juicy, and Angela Bassett was kind of, buffed. And that I'm just saying that distracted me a little bit because it kind of took away from the character. So I don't believe that everybody should look exactly like the person, but some things like what's his name playing what was that he played that playwright or musician, the guy that put on that prosthetic nose. See, when you do something like that, then that's all you can see. Certain things when you're playing a character, if you have something that is very noticeable that is off like that, suddenly that's all you can see. At least for I should speak for myself. That's the only thing that I can see. So if you put on a prosthetic nose and you already got a big nose to play whoever that guy was, I'm just like, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Bernstein, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Unapproachable Light. Yeah, he played Bernstein and he put on that prosthetic nose, and that was distracting. What's her name played Nina Simone. And see, when you do that, you kind of, you can mess up a movie by doing stuff like that. So this is off topic and I still got stuff to cover, so I should keep it moving. But that's just my little opinion about it. Yes, yes, Jamie Foxx was Ray Charles. That is true. Yeah, Tina Turner was like, I would say she was, of course she was not heavy. She wasn't fat, but she just had a very girly body with those incredible legs. And I would just think some people would be a little bit too, um, if you're going to play Tina Turner and you're like not, if you don't even have that shape, then that to me, that's just distracting. But that is just my opinion about it. Has nothing to do with the strength of their performance, in my opinion. Um, and I'm not even going to get started with Michelle Obama. I promised myself I would never talk about. I promised myself and anybody who loves me that I would never talk about anybody playing Michelle Obama. I am just going to leave that alone. I am going to ease out of this conversation the same way I eased into it. And I'm not going to make any faces on my way out of it. I'm not going to make any faces. I'm not going to try to look like I'm not going to try to look like anybody on my way out of it. But that's just that. So again, I'm going to say just one more time. I'm not talking about the merits of someone's performance. I just think that sometimes physical attributes are such a big part of that person's character that if it's not close, if it's not right, then it becomes a distraction. That's it. That's it. I just think it's a little bit of a distraction. So, I mean, if somebody wants to play me, unless they're willing to pull a few teeth out, unless they're willing to pull out a few teeth, I would say they would really have a tough time trying to capture the embodiment of me. Also, it's very important that you keep running into the kitchen for a cookie every time you put on some sound. Otherwise, how could you really say that you have played me, right? Some of those things are important. Also, it's important to play me. You have to stay in your pajamas all the way from 2020, from March of 2020, all the way up until March of 2024. You have to predominantly stay in your pajamas. Go to the supermarket in your pajamas. Um, Go to what? The car wash. Pump your gas, pajamas. I have spent more time in my pajamas than Hugh Hefner. So those are some of those physical attributes that are necessary to play me. And if you're not able or willing or consider doing that, I don't think that you can really embody the real me. And you know what? Maybe you shouldn't. Okay, let's get this lady off this bench, shall we? What did I leave off? Oh, TMZ, where is Kate Middleton? Now, I'm going to try to go through these kind of fast because I don't want to spend too much time. I've done too much of that. But this, I think, is what really scared them at the palace. I think this is what really set them off. When you had Piers Morgan, Paul Burrell, and the TMZ people doubting, guessing, judging about that person at the farmer's market, among other things. And of course, openly discussing William and Kate splitting apart, thus causing another 1992 where 3 of the Queen's children were divorced. I think that that was jarring. I think it scared them a whole lot, and they needed to do something really fast. So they went and got Kitty from the block and planted her on that bench. And I mean to tell you, she has been stuck on that bench ever since. Every place I go, she's still sitting on the bench. They put Kitty on that bench and have not let her up since. I cannot open my computer without seeing Kitty on the bench. Piers Morgan has heard alarming things as he claims Prince William is covering something up. Oh, baby, they heard him loud and clear. Piers Morgan thinks Prince William is trying to cover something up regarding his wife, Kate Middleton, as American media outlets make allegations. American media outlets make allegations about the state of the couple's marriage. Let me say that for you one more time. Piers Morgan thinks Prince William is trying to cover things up regarding his wife, Kate Middleton, as American media outlets make allegations about the state of the couple's marriage. Now, I don't know about you, but when they read that, I bet you somebody at the pallet must have dropped a deuce and said, "Holy crap, we gotta do something about this. We got to do something about this because this is not good." So after dropping some deuces and drinking some hard liquor, they came up with a plan. We got to put her on the bench. Kitty on the bench. I think that's where it comes from, was this. that TMZ moment. This is what really started it. I mean, it's been brewing ever since the 17th of January, but this is what really started it. And the apex, the crescendo was the TMZ, the TMZ. That is what really scared them. And so after that, they knew they had to change something. And so we went from Kate, happy and healthy, to Kate has cancer. Now, remember, on Sunday, they said that Kate was happy and healthy. And they had that person that they introduced walking around the farmer's market, walking so fast, could not have been somebody suffering from some horrible illness. She was moving too fast and smiling, making eye contact with William. Didn't seem like she was the same height as good old Kate. There was just a lot wrong with that. And then TMZ, they said, wait a minute. Now we're not sure that that's Kate. And plus, we only bought that video because, well, we only shared that video because it was provided by the Sun. They paid $140,000. I'm sorry, 140,000 pounds for it. And of course, letting Kate take the blame. When Kate took the blame, that was a sad day because that was enough to kind of turn people against William. Even Richard Eden, Maureen, said that that was being very ungentlemanly, allowing Kate to take the blame for Frankenphoto. And by the way, you know how they said there were 17 lies that were told? Isn't it interesting that there's like 17 points of interest on this photo, the original of which we're not allowed to see? They won't share it. They really goofed up. But by pulling that thing with the special announcement, we're not talking about this anymore. See how they managed to stop that? Now we don't talk about it. You got to admit that was clever. Pamela, let's see. Pamela says they expected Stephen Colbert to apologize. I'm glad he didn't. He's a class act. Are they going to expect TMZ and Hulu to apologize? No one should apologize for the mess that family created. Thank you so much, Pamela. And I agree with you. Stephen Colbert is a class act. I don't want him to apologize. He did not apologize. And as far as Hulu and TMZ, they got what they asked for. If you're going to put out that type of material and expect everybody to go along with it just because the Royal Rota says so, then that is about as short-sighted and silly as can be. And I'm so glad that people are still asking questions. Thank you so much for the super chat. Helene, thank you so much for being here. Yes, he did. I mean, he just, he made good eye contact and everything. I thought it was incredible. And thank you all so much for being so patient and allowing me to play it from the beginning to the end, because it was very important that you hear exactly what he said without all of those voiceovers. I wouldn't have took so long if I didn't think it was important. Hi, Leslie F. Thank you for being here. Yes, Emus, he made sure that he wasn't going to apologize. Prince William thinks Kate is emotionally unstable as she considers drastic move. Prince William is beside himself as Princess Kate considers stepping away from royal duties. Now, that was leaked on March the 4th. That was a story that ran on March the 12th. What am I saying, 4th? The 12th. Okay, here's the problem. Anytime somebody in that royal family brands you as emotionally unstable. Um, wear your seatbelt. Avoid crowds. Okay. If they call you unstable in that family, you're in danger. You're in danger. I have nothing else to add to it. You're in danger. You're unstable. You're in danger. And of course, poor Kate, leave her alone. GB News viewers support very sad Princess of Wales. Of course they do. I think everybody has their. Well, anyway, of course they do. Um, I think, I think that, and this is what's being said. This is all alleged. I don't know any of it for sure, but it's been alleged that that 2024 announcement, the space, there was space between William and Harry. Harry said, "How would you describe your relationship with your brother?" He said, "Space." Well, I think William took a cue from his brother and decided, you know what, that space thing, I want in on that. So he decided to establish space with his wife, right? So it has been alleged that they don't live together, that Kate has been isolated in the Adelaide cottage, and William, some of the neighbors allege that he has been doing all these helicopter trips all day long. He's in and out by helicopter, going from one royal residence to another. Not always for engagements, but just going from one royal residence to the other. And if there's anything that the Queen was very determined to make sure that the public appreciated, is that the Queen was more than willing to take a train just like everybody else. Of course, first class. And she had her own private rail car. Plus, she occasionally took the regular train. She would take not the subway, not the tube, but she would take those, trains from one place to the other. I think she always took one to Sandringham. But the point is, she wanted people to see her doing those things. And I'm pretty sure that she wanted to pass that down to her heirs. They won't hear of it. The only senior royal that I've seen take a regular train was Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan has taken the train, and they don't ever mention this, but they have taken the train in the UK on several occasions. When they went to Cardiff, they took the train. Okay? That one night when Meghan was wearing that polo shirt, they had went to that occasion, they took the train. When they left the One Young World, they rode on a regular train. No helicopters, no private jets. They took a train. But they don't mention that. They're not part of that helicopter squad. The kids aren't with us. We'll take the train. Now, world media mocks Britain royal family. Foreign news agency boss compares Kensington Palace to North Korea as chat show and cartoons target the monarchy in despicable attacks after Photoshop PR disaster. It wasn't Photoshop. That photo was manipulated. It was Frankensteined. It was pieced together. It was like a science project gone awry. But it was not Photoshop. So I just want to remind you guys, it was not Photoshop. It wasn't even just, it was edited, yes, but it was not Photoshop. As Obama's photographer said, it was fake, fraudulent, all of those things. No disrespect to Kate Middleton, but it was very bad. And I don't think she had anything to do with taking that photo. That was Willie Leaks. He took credit for it, and he should have took credit for the disaster. So you had Stephen Colbert, the Irish Times. Who else? John Oliver. Everybody was having fun with Where is Kate Middleton? And then we were having fun with the photo. But you know whose fault it is? The palace. They shouldn't have put it out there. You shouldn't have put it out there. If you don't have enough sense to hire a staff that is going to protect you, get a new staff. And if your staff does not have enough sense to protect you, then get rid of them and get another staff. But somebody dropped the ball. Don't blame the public. Now, right here, dear David Clues, thank you for your request for information under the Freedom of Information Act 2000. As detailed in your email below, your request was received on 25 March 2024. We will deal with your request as promptly as possible and at the latest within 20 working days. If you have any questions about your request, please contact us at the address below. Well, David Clues, I love that name, Clues. David Clues is asking for information regarding a certain video. And guess which video that is? This video. He wants to know exactly whether or not there was any editing involved, like green screen technology, AI, the works. That is a request via the Freedom of Information Act. We have that here in the US. So at the top is an actual screenshot, and there I just made it bigger so I could see it. But yeah, there you go. Information rights and data protection, BBC Legal Broadcasting House. There you go. They want that information. And they have to wait 20 days. They're hiding something, you all. They're hiding something. Now, I'm going to play this soundbite. I don't suspect I'm going to play the whole thing, but let's see how it goes. I've never heard of this show before, but it's called Redacted. Now, if this is one of those shows where they have said terrible things about the Sussexes, I don't know. I've never seen it before today. I didn't go back and look at everything they've done. So I apologize in advance if I am sourcing someone who has, said things about our Duchess. Like I said, I don't know this person, but I was very interested because, as I said, this is not going away.
Now a member of parliament. He's being blasted, and even fellow MPs.
Oh, sorry.
So Kate Middleton, we are not done here. Not yet. The British monarchy released a video of Kate Middleton admitting that she's being treated for cancer. But there are still so many questions from people who don't buy it, of course. So this video, of course, came out just before the weekend. Clearly, Natalie's not here right now. So we don't care to watch Kate Middleton out of a palace intrigue or to see what she's wearing. I don't really care about that. We care because we can see that the palace and the media are clearly lying to us, and we want to know why. So this is a message from Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, and you can see her. I'll just play a few seconds of it and we'll talk about it here. But this was her message here, and just watch the background, watch her hands, watch her hair.
Okay. I'm going to skip past that part.
Or her. Okay. We were told that this was her, right? On the left, we were told that that was her. And on the right, we were told that this was her with William at a farmer's market.
So he just showed the picture of Kate in the car with her mother. And he just showed a picture of the farmer's market. So when he says left and right, that's what he's referring to.
Who are these people? If you put these photos next to the woman who made the video this weekend, it still does not add up. That's not the same person. That's clearly not the same person. And even though the palace never said those women were Kate Middleton, they were shown with her mother and her husband. Right? So they're with Prince William shopping. Who is this woman? Okay. And she's in a car. Like, what's going on here? But these people are like made to look like her. And the media ran with it. See, here she is. They were just shopping this weekend. Everything's fine. Ignore it. So do her husband and mother just have stand-ins that are available at a moment's notice for their beloved Kate so they can hang out with them? Like, oh, my real Kate isn't here this weekend, so I've got the doppelganger I can just hang out with. It also doesn't...
Well, the one thing I noticed on that video, if you play it again and look at it, there is absolutely zero movement of any flower, any leaf, any blade of grass. Nothing moves in that background, which is very, I mean, even like if you're outside, there's going to be some movement, right? I did just see a fly in front of her though, but like that was what made me question it. Like I see no movement.
Yeah, I mean, of course, analysts have dove into this. We're going to dive into more and more deeply here in a second, but I agree with you. I mean, nothing's moving. I don't know that I've ever been outside when it's like that calm, that peaceful. I don't know. So it does not explain why the palace never released the unedited version of the Mother's Day photo that started all of this. Like this original photo that went out that started this entire garbage. And now we know that this was altered. You can see the disclaimer at the bottom. It's an altered photo. And it was made its rounds all over the news, right? So when people pointed out that their outfits were similar to a public outing in November, they blamed it on bad photoshopping on the princess and never released the unedited version of the photo. Show us the unedited version of the photo then. Because the story we got was that Kate was at home on Photoshop and she, like other moms, likes to Photoshop some stuff. That's the story we got. Really? She just got like abdominal surgery for cancer and she's there Photoshopping things on a Mother's Day photo? Like something doesn't add up. And by the way, where's William in the photos? Okay. So again, the lies here. And if she's been sick all along, why did they lie that she didn't have cancer?
Did you all hear that? Did you all hear that? They are not. They have poked the bear. They have really poked the bear. They wanted attention from the United States. Well, be careful what you ask for, because now you got exactly what you wanted. You wanted to be noticed, you're noticed.
Kensington Palace confirms princess does not have cancer. Okay, so then they're lying again. And if the BBC made this video 2 weeks ago, why did the press say that the woman who went to the happily, farm shopping last weekend was happy and healthy? Here's Kate outdoors. Here's Kate outdoors, happy and healthy. See, she's fine. Princess Kate spotted out and about for the first time. Oh, okay. So that's not Kate at all, but you're telling us it is. You're lying to us again. So is this video of her cancer explanation AI?
Well, let me see. I just showed that slide, didn't I? There it is, right there. Kate, happy and healthy. Now, what changed from happy and healthy to Kitty on the bench? What changed from happy and healthy to Kate on the bench? What changed?
Undetermined. A few problems, though, that people could be explained by the low resolution. But why do they film it with such low resolution? We have 4K, and we're led to believe the BBC filmed this, and they filmed it with like 1990s film quality. Right.
Do you see why I love this guy? Isn't that the same thing I said? Is why this very dusty, murky appearance when these are modern times and they could just make a HD quality video, something that doesn't look so bizarre.
40p or something. Like they
An
use
Android phone with
they use like a Game Boy. Remember the Game Boy camera? You could get a camera that attached to your Game Boy back in the 1980s. Maybe that's what they used. A few problems that people see could be explained with this low resolution. So I just don't understand why they filmed it with this low resolution. Many have fixated on her wedding ring, which is the ring that once belonged to Princess Diana. It does disappear. It does appear to disappear at one frame. Watch this.
Okay, I'm not gonna. They did that in slow motion.
In a few frames. Now, again, it could just be the low resolution. Also, her nostrils are a bit uneven, some say. And this sweater is a sweater that we've seen her wear before in similar settings with a similar hairstyle, a similar blowout when she was outdoors in the spring wearing the same exact sweater. And take a look at this. This made its rounds.
Mental health is just as important as physical health.
So what he just shared is this right here, where she's outdoors talking about mental health. Remember, Heads Together, 7 years ago.
Shows that it's not AI, but image searches show the high likelihood that it is AI. The flowers don't move once in the entire 2-minute video. The ring kept appearing and disappearing in the footage. The eyes kept popping in and out. She blinks a lot. This is not about whether or not the princess deserves privacy. Of course she does. This is about why the palace and the media keep lying so badly about it, and whether or not we are free to ask for the truth. George Galloway is being blasted. Friend of the show, George Galloway, now a member of Parliament.
Well, you remember George Galloway, where he says, habeas corpus, show us the body. That George Galloway.
He's being blasted, and even fellow MPs.
But I think I'm going to leave it there because it's like a 13-minute video. But essentially, as you can see, he and I are on board. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. I went and got my cowbell because I saw you were here. You guys, Connie Balmer sent me the most beautiful cowbell from Switzerland. It is mucho authentico, and it is beautiful. See how different? I love that. That is my genuine Swiss cowbell, courtesy of Connie Balmer. Thank you, Connie Balmer. Every time I see that cowbell, I feel loved and understood and appreciated. I do. Okay. So what was I talking about? Oh, yes. This here. But yes, the way this guy just plainly and openly says they keep lying to us. And this is the point that I was making earlier. The same way that they dug in with those 17 things that Harry and Meghan lied about in the Oprah Winfrey interview. Can you hear how clearly this guy is saying they keep lying to us? And you know what, guys? This is that moment where something has taken a big turn. You know, with the Princess Diana, it wasn't so much people thought that there was a big lie. People just thought somebody was deliberately unalived. But this is a plain lie. All of this seems to be made up. And every time they had a chance to straighten things out, and you know what I just thought about? Nobody was forcing Kate to tell us anything. People were just like, if she would just wave to us, if she would just make a video and say, I'm okay, right? Nobody demanded to hear about all of that. The question was, where is Kate Middleton? Am I wrong about that? Was there anybody who was coercing them into releasing any medical information. The question was, where is Kate Middleton? And of course, since we didn't know where she was, the next question is, I wonder what's wrong with her. Now, you could have eliminated one of those just by doing what she's doing right there. But leave it to them, leave it to Kensington Palace. Instead of leaving it there, it's as though they are insulting everyone's collective intelligence by making yet another video that raises more questions than answers. Good morning to you too, Connie. Good morning. Morgan. Well, yeah, they did that. They did that. And you know what? I don't want to play the other 4 minutes, but he even made a reference to the eyebrow, wondering why was her eyebrow stuck in that position like that. I mean, they went over everything. But I tell you what, I'll let you hear how they ended.
That lie that Trump said, that damage has already been planted and done. You have the mainstream media telling the story that Trump's called for a bloodbath, and you have casual people who don't follow news very much or don't know what they're talking about. They're like, I heard Trump called for a bloodbath. It's another reason maybe I'm not going to vote for the guy. It's a lie. And so this stuff is powerful. And yeah, it doesn't just stop at Kate Middleton. It has nothing to.
I'm going to go back a little bit further. Sorry about that.
To us, then it makes them look on the political side and opens up their mind to the potential that they're lying about other things. So that's why I think this is an important story to cover.
Yeah, I mean, you could even take it a step further and look at what happened with the bloodbath comments last week and how the media lied to all of us, right, about the mainstream.
Okay, now that part that he said right there. Now, someone did call me and they said, did you hear that Donald Trump called for a bloodbath? And I said, he did? And of course, I know Donald Trump is capable of overthrowing a government. But the context in which he said it was deliberately ambiguous, which is something he's very good at. He's a con artist, so he's very good at that. So the way it was conveyed to me was not as he said it, which is why I wanted you to hear Stephen Colbert in its entirety, because chances are, if you haven't seen it, by the time you find it, it's going to be all edited and cut up and you'll never hear the whole of it, right? And so even though y'all know I don't like Donald Trump, when I heard it come out of his mouth, it wasn't exactly the same thing. It wasn't in the same context. Pretty tasteless, but it was not the same thing. And I am a stickler for details. And when somebody tells me, I heard this, that, and the other, I Google, I search, I try to go to a reliable news source so that I can make sure that I get the original version of the account. I don't want somebody else's opinion, even someone I love and respect. I don't want your opinion attached to it. I want the truth. I don't want to feel anxious and nervous unnecessarily. And if I could hear it in the proper context, then it'll make more sense. But if I hear it with the opinion, I'm not comfortable with that. Okay, so that was that guy. Sorry about all of these slides I'm going through, but I want to get back to where I left off. Okay, so that was it. It's called Redacted. If you want to see the video yourself, that is the title of the video. The royal family is lying about Princess Kate, and you can hear the missing minutes that I did not share. Now, let's get to some of the comments. Love this. I love this. You got to see these comments because they are epic. They are epic. Okay, like right here. Honestly, I don't care what she's doing, but I do find it's refreshing that nobody believes the media. Okay? And then the next one there says the question was, what else is the media lying about? I have a simple answer: about everything. Followed by the next one, which says, whatever you care about the royals, I'm sorry, whether you care about the royals or not, this is an absolutely huge deal. But my gut feeling is something massive is being covered up. You guys, this is why they were in such a panic. This is why they were in such a panic. This is why. Because they poked the bear. They wanted America to notice them. I hope they're happy because they got exactly what they wanted. They're noticed. And then there, George Galloway was right. If my neighbor disappeared for 8 weeks, I'd be wondering where they were. Be careful what you ask for. Okay, now, when the names look like a personal name, I don't want to have people looking for anybody. So I covered up what appeared to be real names. Well, most of them. Did you not report that Kate only got one visit from her husband and one visit from Charles in hospital? Well, you already know where this person is from. Let me see. Oh, I can't see what's behind that. What is behind that? Oh, you know what? There we go. Still can't see it. Sorry. I want to know what's behind that. Okay. If she had major surgery, this would be inconceivable, no? And then, of course, the next one says something sinister is afoot. Mark my word, Obama's visit wasn't for nothing either. And let me see. I live 10 minutes walk from Kensington Palace, yet spring comes early in the UK and all of the songbirds are singing, yet her garden is silent. Followed by, if she was well enough to go shopping with her husband and riding in the car with her mother, then why was she not well enough to take a Mother's Day picture with her children? Now, what they're saying is, why would you cut and paste? Why would you take your image from another photo and put it on top of this photo? Why couldn't she just take a picture just like she's sitting on the bench? She could have just taken a picture with her kids. Why couldn't she just take a picture with her kids? She could have taken a picture with her kids and then they could have made certain adjustments. But instead, they decapitated one photo and stuck the head on the other. Why would somebody go through that trouble if she's healthy and happy? It's almost scary. And I'm not just saying that to say it. It's scary that such an obvious lie is being perpetrated for seemingly no good reason. And they wonder, why are people asking, what are they hiding? Why don't they believe them? Kate has cancer. And so that should just clear up any questions. The questions should not be asked. That's your answer. If somebody says, why couldn't she just take a photo instead of transplanting an image? The answer is Kate has cancer. But according to the Daily Mail, she's healthy and happy. Too many inconsistencies. Too many inconsistencies. Okay. I got one more of these comments. Let me see. One more. Okay. Yes, there it is. All right. She blinks incessantly. Why is the picture fuzzy? Her hair looks unnatural. Why was her supportive husband not sitting with her? Next, this is the biggest event in her life. Wouldn't you have your husband by your side? That bench is called the Queen's Bench. It's in a garden at Windsor Castle. She resides on the grounds in Adelaide House. That bench was 20 slats in the back. Her bench has 10. No dimples, no mole over top of right lip. Damn, somebody's really. Damn, I didn't see all that. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I hate to do this, but hold on. I'm like, what? One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, okay. I'm looking at the slats on one side, and they seem broader and further apart. The ones on the other side, I do recognize that there is a certain distance, right? But if you saw this bench without anyone seated on it in the other picture, then I suppose one could make the case that it's a bit off. That's all. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Sorry about that. My God, though, I didn't. Oh, see, that's what happened. The more you look, the more you see. If I was AI, that would be the reason William was not there. One of her eyebrows never move as she is speaking. Which eyebrow? Which eyebrow? Which eyebrow? Huh? What eyebrow is not moving? Tell me. Which eyebrow? That's what I thought. Okay. It's easier to lie to people than to convince people that they've been lied to. It's easier to lie to people than convince people they've been lied to. You know what? I'm going to have to remember that. It's easier to lie to people than convince people they've been lied to. That's deep. That's deep. I've never heard that one before, but that's deep. It's easier to lie to people than convince people they've been lied to. Wowee. They doing too much, ain't they? They are doing way, way too much. They really are. Oh, well, thank you for sticking around, you guys. As I am discussing these things, I'm kind of working out some things that I'm kind of like Columbo. There's a few things that's been bothering me that I needed to work out, and I'm getting there because I'm still trying to figure out why all of the lies, why all of the falsehoods, why the deception. Yeah, Leslie F. I've heard that too, that her head, the size of her head looks strange in one situation compared to the other. So, how they edited ring in clip 1, they edited out the missing ring, but also and in between well and getting, let me see, and getting strong. Oh, when she said well and getting strong, they're saying that in between and between well and getting strong, in those frames, that's where the ring appears and disappears or whatever. And then clip 2, the new version, including the ring as well as and clip 3, well, getting stronger, no, and okay, getting stronger, and well, you know what I mean. Her head skips position, hand skip position. So people have been picking this apart frame by frame, and they have, you know, okay, you guys, at this point, I don't remember, but I remember I said, I noticed she wasn't wearing a ring. It seems as though there has been more than one video. Has anybody else gotten that notion? I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but does it seem like a second version of the video was released? Because I promise you, I don't remember seeing the ring the first time. And then when I went back to find the video again and look for the ring, there it was. But I didn't look at it frame by frame like other people. And then, of course, I think it was Black Queen that said that the ring disappeared and reappeared. And still, I didn't see it. So I must, I don't know. But then when I finally studied it, I'm like, oop, there it goes. I don't see it. Maybe this is a test to see how much deception the public can bear. And then, of course, there's this curious situation. So, another piece to add to the jigsaw is that according to the online reports on the 28th of December, a convoy with police protection and the Range Rovers used by the royal family were reportedly seen heading toward the King Edward VII Hospital in Marylebone, central London at 1830. That's what, 6:30 p.m.? No press releases or explanations have ever been given around this. I repeat, no press releases or explanations. Nothing. It's as though it did not happen. It's as though it never happened. You'll recognize the famous door at the private hospital where numerous royal babies have been brought out over the years. Now, that part, this person that wrote that, they actually got that wrong. It wasn't the Lindo Wing entrance. At least I don't think so. If they're going by that photo right there, that's not the Lindo Wing. Let me see. The Christmas period is a time of great joy, but statistically, it is also a time of great trauma for many as well. And so the print is very small, but let me see if I can help you out so you can see what it says. What it says is the calls and contacts to helplines remain higher than pre-pandemic, compounded by the cost of living crisis. So what they're referring to is calls to, places where people call when they are suffering domestic abuse. That's what that says. It's at the bottom part. It's like what they're saying is that they're just adding that to the story. They want you to consider, not saying that that's part of the story, of course, because no one is saying that. But what they're not saying is that during Christmas time, domestic abuse is on the rise. So it's not necessarily directly related to that weird motorcade, but nobody's saying that it's not directly in reference to that weird motorcade. Did you get what I'm not saying? Because I didn't say it. I certainly didn't say it. And okay, we got to get to this. Oh, there we go. Are we the only ones who find it strange that senior royals such as Mike Tyndall and Princess Eugenie have taken to social media to wish Kate, haven't taken to social media to wish Kate well? Eugenie just posted this as her latest post. No mention of Kate at all. Okay, let me correct something. They are not senior royals. So whoever wrote this comment, they got that part wrong. They are not senior royals. Eugenie is a royal princess. She is a princess of the blood. But Mike Tyndall, he's barely human, let alone a member of the royal family. He's like Nottingham Cottage. Not exactly Kensington Palace, but palace adjacent, okay? He's a rundown, listed, unlisted property that has seen better days, that has only ever been used by the lowest rung on the ladders. And of course, he had that weird thing going on with his nose, which I'm sure had nothing to do with Uncle Gary or baking soda. But yeah, he's a big nobody. He's a big nobody, and what he says carries as little weight as anybody else's. So, not a very important person. He's just a big hanger on. He's there to kill spiders and take out the trash. Okay? That's it. And then, of course, here's a little graphic someone came up with, which I thought was fun. Where's Kate Middleton? And of course, you would really need to do one of those old visual boards to try to figure out where things started, where it's going, and where you should look for clues. So that is the state of it. If you were able to put this on a bulletin board, it would probably look something like that, but it would have far more material up there because this has been deliberately confusing for everybody. Also, I want to share this. I saw this article. Now, again, this is something that I really just took the screenshot. I did not read the article. I didn't care about the article. What I did do was go and research some things to counter the nonsense that I saw in just a few lines. Inside Kate Middleton's unbreakable bond with best friend and sister Pippa. As Kate's family rally around the princess in light of her recent cancer diagnosis, we take a closer look at the very special bond she shares with her younger sister Pippa. She has a special bond with her sister Pippa, does she? Because this photo of her and Pippa was, I'm talking about the one on the left, the one with the two of them. That photo is from July 8th of 2012. So for today's article, the best way to show how close she is to her sister was to find a photo from July 8th of 2012. And of course, she and her sister is so close that Pippa, realizing how ill her sister has been, decided, you know what? The only way I can think to help my sister, I'm going to the beach. So Pippa Middleton is sun-kissed beach babe in vibrant string bikini. Princess of Wales' younger sister is the envy of us all as she suns it up in St. Bart's. Yes, her sister is so ill that she headed to St. Bart's to convalesce. Well, I guess not convalesce because she's not the one that's ill. But yeah, her sister is so sick, she headed to St. Bart's. This is the sister who, along with her mother and her brother, the dog food dealer, were supposed to stay by her side and help with the kids and help them adjust. None of which we have witnessed at all. None of it. At all. And then, let me see here. Take a look here. Kate Middleton, Pippa Middleton at war. Yes, I went and dug out an article to counter that BS. That article is from 7/28/16. But you know what this article has in common with the other article I just shared? Does anybody know what it has in common? I'll tell you. They had to go all the way back to July 8th of 2012 to find photos of them together so that they can sell us on the idea that they are just as close, if not closer, in 2024. Yes. The first article was from 2012. The next article is from 2016. When was the last time they were photographed happy together? When was the last time that they were photographed happy together? I guess it was 2012. That's how close they are. They're so close that the last time that they were happy together was in the year of our Lord, 2012. Since then, there's no proof or evidence that they talk, let alone that they're close. Kate Middleton and her sister Pippa Middleton are feuding. This is from 2016, are feuding with each other after the latter's engagement to James Matthews. A new report claims Wednesday, according to In Touch Weekly, the two sisters are at war with each other as Pippa is fed up with Kate's judgmental attitude. After years of private drama, clashing views about courting attention, and fresh concerns about a wild brother-in-law to be, Pippa doesn't want Kate in her wedding party. A source told In Touch Weekly she's fed up with Kate's judgmental attitude and doesn't want her to be a bridesmaid unless she starts to chill out. According to the report, the two sisters have been clashing with each other over the last few years as Kate found it unseemingly that that her royal access was benefiting Pippa's career. In other words, jealous. Kate is also reportedly concerned about Pippa's fiance Matthew's family, including his brother, who starred in a number of UK reality shows. And so the article ends by saying, rumors about Kate and Prince William's marriage troubles have also made the rounds, while at the same time, some claim that the Duchess will soon welcome her third child. So even back in 2016, they were talking about their marriage was on the rocks. I'm telling you, you can go back and look at some of those old articles and find some very interesting talking points. Isn't that something? So, again, the tabloid media is trying to keep this soap opera going about how Kate Middleton is so cared for and everybody is rushing to her side, and that everyone should just stop talking about all of those photos and body doubles and um, all of that stuff. We should stop talking about it because Kate has the entire world, including Pippa, rallying to her support. So anytime they say Pippa is in St. Bart's, just remember her body may be in St. Bart's, but her mind is deep in thought and prayer about her sister's well being. As a matter of fact, everybody in the family is rallying to Kate's support. Some people are doing it from St. Bart's. Some people are at the Formula One races. Some people have hit the ski slopes or gone on reality shows. But everybody is on her side. I was going to say by her side, but that can't be possible because Uncle Gary's was at a reality show and half of the family was at Formula One. Camilla went over to, what was it, Ireland, and she had them bring her a Barbie doll in her likeness. Not really, in her likeness. And by the way, her Barbie doll also doubles as My Little Pony. Yeah, it's a twofer. It's a twofer. You could either use it as a queen consort, or if you push a button, it turns into a pony. My Little Pony. Okay. And so this is how generous and supportive both the Middleton family and the Windsor family have been to Kate Middleton. As a matter of fact, they have not been near her. I'm sorry. They have not left her side since she first went to hospital, either December the 28th or January the 17th. Take your pick, or somewhere in between, because they say it was the 17th of January. We saw a motorcade on the 28th of January. And of course, the operation was pre-scheduled, but it may have been a complication from whatever happened on the 28th or thereabouts. And with all of that, let me quote Angela Levin, because Angela Levin had the caucasity. She had the caucasity to try to call people out. She wanted to call out the Sussexes. Meghan shows no respect for the monarchy and those in it by launching her jam and tablecloths stalls when Princess Diana's Memorial Award charity and the late Queen saw it coming. And after all, she is an actress, and she's an actress, and she always gets her way. Harry had to say, does she want to come to the UK purely for selling her goods? Now, that, of course, is from someone who never lies, and that, of course, is Angela Latrine. She never lies. Also, I just want to remind you guys that leading up to everything that has happened, remember, Jeannie Bond pointed out the double standard in reporting of Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton wasn't on my bingo card, but she didn't lie. You can criticize everything Meghan does and says, you can't criticize everything Meghan does and says, and then demand kindness for Kate. Now, that is what Jeannie Bond said. Jeannie Bond, of course, I'm no fan of hers, but that time she was right on the money. Don't demand kindness for one and still be shady to the other. And that's what they've been doing. So when they ask, why won't people stop talking about this? Why won't people leave her alone? Why are people still talking about this? Well, this is what you asked for. You wanted the U.S. attention? You got it. You want us to notice Kate Middleton? You got it. You want us to think about Will? You got it. Everything you wanted, you got it. It may not be the way you hoped it would be, but you got it. Now, sometimes you think you're at Madame Tussauds, but you're actually at a Republican fundraiser. I believe that either that is a waxwork from Madame Tussauds, or that is that, what's her name? Guilford, Guild Creature. Is her name Guild Creature? Whatever it is, that's a Republican fembot. No, you can't say fembots because fembots look like that, like a music video. I don't know what that is, but that is I think she was engaged or dating Donald Trump Jr. at one time. Is that right? That poor woman. I don't know what happened to her. Poor woman. That is a woman, right? That's not one of those spellers, is it? Whatever that is, something terrible has happened. Something terrible. I don't think her face has moved since Trump lost the election in 2020. Her face has been frozen like that since Donald Trump lost the election. Yeah. And as for that pose, I'm not even going to say what that pose implies. I won't do it. I won't do it. I have too much respect. I won't do it. But hey, isn't that stage where they had some of those official papers? That's at the Mar-a-Lago. That's in that ballroom. And that's that stage where they had boxes and boxes of top secret documents. Oh, well, poor person. Anyway, as they would say, blip, blip, blip. That's all, folks. That's all, folks. I am done. I am done. Now, if you're in the metropolitan London area, do remember that there's going to be a royal celebration. The Maundy Day is at the Worcester Cathedral. It's a tradition that goes all the way back to medieval times, I think. But anyway, Camilla will be there. I don't know if Charles will be there, but Camilla will be there. So go and support the royal family. Make sure you're there to cheer her on. But if you can, make sure you wear a yellow T-shirt or a black T-shirt. And also, there may be some people there that have some placards that will help you cheer on the royal family. Don't worry about what's on the placards. Just grab one. Some of them say things like, they may have a Y or an M or a T. Just grab one of those letters and stand wherever they tell you to stand. That way you can really celebrate this monarchy. Remember, wear yellow or black, and make sure you grab one of those placards. It's going to have one big letter on it, and you just hold that letter and you stand wherever they tell you to stand. And when you see Camilla, just make sure you give her a shout out. Okay? All right, that's it. All right, love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I didn't mean to take 3 hours. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but I think we shared some good information. I think we learned a lot tonight. Thank you all so much for your contributions. Thank you to the Mod Squad for making sure that this is the safest space it can be. One of the things that we all enjoy about these Sussex friendly spaces is the fact that we don't have to deal with all of those trolls. And that is due in part to, actually, a very big part is the Mod Squad, the moderators. And whenever you see our queens, it's time to go. And you know what I mean? Whenever you see our queens, it's time to go. And you know what I mean? I love my bell. Nice. Very nice. It's very heavy, you guys. I mean, it is like super authentic. Very heavy. Good night, everyone. Have a good night or have a great day, whichever applies. And our last word of the day is, let me see, what was our last word? It's easier to lie to people than convince people they've been lied to. That's how we'll end it today. I think that's very deep and profound, is that it's easier to lie than convince people that they have been lied to. Wow. Powerful. Powerful. I guess that was everything. All right. Well, let us end with Once Upon a Time. I think Once Upon a Time is good for tonight. Good night, Connie Balmer.